Without this tool, you'll find yourself spending wasted time trying to fix these problems manually, still end up with noisy photos, and your photos might never reach their full potential. So what tool do they all have in common to fix this? The answer is a product from Topaz Labs, and it is called Topaz Denoise AI.
Denoise AI uses a new approach called deep learning to distinguish between real image detail and noise, snapping attention to your animal, recovering detail in the eyes, fur, and feathers.
And let's be honest, that's what we really need for our photos to stand out on Instagram, right? All right, enough of this though. Let's go ahead and jump into the computer and I will show you guys how powerful this is and why I use it on all my photos and why all the big wildlife photographers use it too. So here in Lightroom, I already made a collection of 5 photos to show you guys. 2 of them aren't wildlife photos, but they're super noisy, and I want to show you the limits that this program does have. But I went through and I did a soft edit of each of these photos just here in Lightroom, nothing too crazy, because normally I do a base edit and then I jump over into Photoshop. If we zoom in here to 100%, you can see all the noise right here, how that noise just kind of bends and blends into it. And this was shot at 3200 ISO at 600 millimeters at f6.3 at 1/80th of a second. Now this owl photo was only shot at ISO 500, 600 millimeters, f11 at 1/60. And if we zoom in to 200%, we can see all this noise right here, and even the noise on the owl itself. And then our third photo is going to be ISO 1000, and you can really see the damage it's doing. So again, shot at 600 millimeters, f6.3 at 1/200. And then this photo of me shot at ISO 800, but it was shot on a T6i. So the other photos that I did were shot on a 1DX Mark II. So this is ISO 800, 57 millimeters, f4 at 1/100. And you can really just see how ravaged with noise this photo is. That sensor is not good for low light, but zoomed out at fit, it doesn't look that bad. But this is by far my worst one, even though it's at ISO 800. The limit for that camera is about 400. This one, ISO 1600. And you can really see, I mean, it's astrophotography. This was shot at 20-second exposure. So you really see all the different artifacts here. And we're gonna see how Topaz Labs Denoise just makes a difference. It really makes these photos stand out. They have it posted all over the website that image quality is their biggest thing. And they really do mean that. They really can improve the quality of your photos. And one of the biggest reasons I'm doing this is not just to show you how cool this is, because I'm not sponsored by them whatsoever. I just thought it was cool. I got it, tried it, and am in love with it. But if you are shooting on something like a T6i and you spend your money on a good lens, go ahead and take your wildlife photos and then use this program to make them look like you're shooting with a multi-$1,000 lens, which is huge, which is why I'm using it, because I use a $2,000 lens, and this is making my photos look like they were maybe shot on something between $5,000 to $8,000. But enough of that, let's go into Topaz Labs and see what we can do. So we're gonna start with our smallest ISO one first, which is the owl here. I already put the plug in, so we're gonna go Topaz Denoise, edit a copy with Lightroom adjustments. So once you open it up, it's gonna pop up here in split view. So you can actually move this bar around once it's done updating right here. And I'll go through and give you guys a kind of a full breakdown of everything that you'll see on the screen right now. And then we'll go through and review each of those high ISO high ISO photos. So as you can see, before, after. Let me zoom in here to 200, before, after. That is just wild to me. And you can go single view here and you can flip back and forth, hitting this little original eye. Now, as far as views go, you have side by side, and then you have this 4-way comparison split. Now it's gonna show 4 different levels of adjustment. Now I'm gonna zoom over here because this is where you can see most of the noise. So your AI models, you have standard. So this is our standard, which you can see does a great job. Just because, again, shot at ISO 500, we'll see how that does later on. Clear, low light, and severe. Raw, I don't really edit my photos in RAW in here, so this isn't something I normally use. And then you have your model preferences. So remove noise, you have low, medium, and high. This is something that the AI will adjust for itself, but you can go in here and you can manipulate them if you want. And you can see how much that changes. And then you can also adjust your sharpness. Now I pair my photos here with the Topaz sharpening AI because I think it does a great job at not allowing the haloing and the luminance snow flurries that you see along the edges. Then you have your post-processing here where you can actually recover some of the original data and you can adjust the color noise reduction here too. But I never play with these because I think it just does a phenomenal job within the standard, clear, low light, and severe. All right, now I'm not gonna save this because I've already edited this photo. So you can still see that my image was still a little soft, but let's click on severe noise. You can see, all right, it's really softening up the image now at 1,000. But again, my photo was already soft. I was shooting very far away and trying to focus on this bird with a 1DX Mark II through all these tree branches, incredibly difficult. So this was the best that I could do. But let's say we enhance the sharpening to 100%. Let's see what happens. See, no crazy haloing, and it looks great. Like, let's look at the original. So before, after. It looks really good. I'm still stunned by this. All right, let's look at our Astro one. Before I continue anymore, if you guys like content like this or you're enjoying this video, just kind of going through, hanging out with you guys and showing you guys some cool tools that the industry leaders use, go ahead and give this video a like. And yeah, generally, let's just get back into it. All right, so let's go down here where you can see a lot of these artifacts in the mountain. So this is severe, right? So let's go into our 4-way comparison window. Bring this up a little bit so you can see some of the mountain, me, and the stars. So severe noise, again, softening it quite a bit. Clear, still getting quite a few artifacts. In the low light, and you can see the severe noise is the one that did the best. Standard, clear, not that great either. Low light, still getting some artifacts. And you can see severe noise being the best one. And if we go through and increase the sharpness all the way up, we're still getting a somewhat soft photo. You can still see like stuff right here, patches here. When you just don't have the data, it goes to show even AI can't do a completely perfect job at recovering your photos. So let's do single view, and we'll do zoom to fit. On their website, they go through and they say that one of the downsides of using AI technology is that it's slower because it uses a lot of computing power to process the images. But I still think it's way faster than doing any of this manually. I mean, it just cleaned up my photo before I could even finish my sentence. So I still think that this is something worth the money to save you time. Because look at this. So this is what you would see on my Instagram. And look at that. That's the original. And that's after. Wow. I'm gonna bring this sharpening back down to about 50, put it in a 4-way split so we can see all the different options we have here. And the biggest area we're looking is the fall off in the back. That's what we really want. So you can go through and you can click each of these and you can change them. So this one, we can set to standard. This one we can set to clear, low light, and severe noise. That way we have them all set. And now look at that. So standard, does a pretty dang good job. We got some artifact going on up here, some over here. Clear, still not super clear. Low light, this was actually shot in low light. The sun was already set and there was already no more light on the Fox. But that's great. This looks amazing. You can see its face. Does a really good job. So for this one, you know, I would go either between low light and severe noise. Let's just go to single view. Zoom to fit. And you can really see all the noise in the background here. As we're waiting for this update, go ahead and put in the comments what you guys think about this. Is this something that you guys think is worth the money? Is this something that you guys can see yourselves using? Is it the money worth the amount of time that it's gonna save you in the post-production process of your editing? Okay, it's done processing. Yeah, look at that, guys. That's just stunning. Absolutely stunning. 3200 ISO, whoop, gone. Like that. We're gonna do 50%. Go into our comparison, turn that one to standard. Oh man, yeah, you can already see it's turning me into a clay of a wax museum figure. This is what I imagine I would look like if I were ever in a wax museum. Clear, not even close to being good. Still better than the original, but not by much. Low light, a little bit better. Like I'd say this is good for Instagram because you're not gonna see those artifacts. But standard and severe noise, I just look like a clay figure. So let's go to split view and we'll do zoom to fit again and we'll let this thing do its job. I'm gonna leave enhanced sharpness up to 100% because there is a lot of stuff that needs to be sharpened. And I can't imagine bringing it down any further than 100 is gonna make a big difference in the way that I look. So this is something that I would just leave the grain in, or I would use the low light setting, and so that way I have some artifacts and I'm not looking super waxy and you're not gonna notice the artifacts on Instagram itself. But even with severe noise, you can see from far away on a little iPhone screen or Android screen, you're not gonna notice how waxy I look unless you pinch and zoom. Let's go down to the camera here, and I just wanna show you the work that it does on the camera. So yeah, a lot of haloing going on. It almost looks like I shot this with a black diffusion filter on. It still does a nice job. Like if you look here on my fingers, some of the image actually turned out all right. It does bring back the quality. Sadly, this just wasn't a super quality photo. This was Instagram worthy, you know, just a lifestyle portrait to post on there. There are some people who have seen shoot with mirrorless who have been able to adjust photos up to 25,600 ISO. His name is Matt Kalowski. You can go check his video out too. He kind of goes over the latest updates in the patch from almost a year ago, but he's another good YouTuber to kind of watch. If you really want to make your wildlife photos pop, watch this video next.